What is up, guys? It's SS Modern Warfare here, Gamertag Banjo Chicken, and welcome back to another video. So first of all, hope you guys had a good Christmas and a happy new year. And in this video we're actually going to be comparing stealth services. So I'm going to be creating a list and I'm going to be putting the best ones at the top, worst ones in the bottom, etc. And I'll just justify why I'm placing that service in that position on my list, because there are a lot of stealth services out right now and a lot of controversy and which one's the best. So it's just my opinion, obviously, and I don't mean to offend any of the owners of these stealth services in this video, but if I do, then I apologize, but it's just to justify why I'm putting your service in the specific position in my list. So basically, to start off, I'm going to be comparing them on whether or not they have a good advanced warfare bypass, because that's, you know, an important thing for me, is to have a stealth service that has a good advanced warfare bypass, and because that's kind of like the big thing at the moment with stealth services, and also other extra features, price as well, of course, and as well as that, how quickly they were able to update on 17150, because there was this hash that actually changed, and it doesn't always change every dash update, it only changes every few updates or so. So it hasn't changed in quite a while, and in 17150 it actually changed, so only the servers that actually knew what they were doing and weren't using stolen files, and, you know, the ones that knew what they were doing were able to update, and the ones that didn't know what they were doing took a week or so, or had to wait till the hash was publicly released before they were able to actually get online. So yes, that's what I'm going to be comparing them on. So I'm just going to list them top to bottom, rather than do a big build up. I'll just say this one's the best, and then this one, and this one, and why. So for me, the best guys out there right now are Xbox Live Zone. The reason is because their bypass for Advanced Warfare is unbannable, and it's definitely the best bypass I have seen, because when TU6 came out for Advanced Warfare, a lot of the stealth services bypasses were patched, and the reason they were patched is because they were just knopping offsets, which were obviously patched, whereas Xbox Live Zone uses proper challenge data, and that's why their bypass still works, and that's why it's unbannable. I was on Zone for a whole day doing Apparition Net mods when I was making those videos for Apparition Net. Wasn't banned at all. Came on 2 days later on the same profile, still wasn't banned on Advanced Warfare. So definitely the best stealth server to have, or the best stealth server for Advanced Warfare, because their bypass is unbannable. They've also got, obviously, your automatic XEX updating, they've got Microsoft point spoofing, all that kind of stuff, and all the stuff the other services have, like the Black Ops 2 ban bypass, XOSC, etc. Only downside is they don't seem to have an auto buy system yet. Hopefully they'll implement that sometime in the future, but right now there's no auto buy, which is a little bit disappointing, but they do have a token system, which is, you know, working quite well for them. As far as I know, it seems like a decent system, but you still have to contact an actual person to buy, which can be frustrating for some people. So it would be good if they had an auto buy system. That's my only complaint. But apart from that, definitely the best stealth service in my opinion. In terms of how fast they got on 17150 Dash, they were a day after XBL Ninja, or Xbox Live Stealth. So they were a day later, which isn't much time at all, really. So they were snappy. They were online straight away, when some of the other services took weeks to get online. So yes, definitely the best stealth service at the moment, in my opinion. Then coming in at number 2, and people may hate me for this, but I'm going to say Xbox Live Stealth Emulated. Reason being is they are free. Yes, they're not necessarily they're not necessarily the best in terms of their service. All they have, I believe, is just the regular stuff like the Black Ops 2 ban bypass, gold spoofing, XOSC. They don't really have an Advanced Warfare bypass as far as I know, but they were quite fast to get online, I believe, because I did test these guys out a few days after the 17150 Dash came out, and I was able to get online. So they did update quite quickly. I think it was a few days, at least a few days after Zone, that these guys got online, but they did get online fairly quickly, not too bad, and they're free. That's the big thing, they are free. It doesn't cost you any money to get on this service, but because they don't have an Advanced Warfare bypass, that's why I'm not putting them as number 1. and I don't think they have Microsoft point spoofing or anything else. But what they do have is, well, the big thing is they're free, and the reason I'm placing them second is that you can buy an Advanced Warfare bypass separately for like $10 a day or $5 a day or something like that. I think it's $10 a day, I'm not sure, for an Advanced Warfare bypass alone, and then you can use XBLSC for free, which would come to the same price as Zone anyway. But I'm still putting Zone at number one because their Advanced Warfare bypass is included in their service. Plus they have the extra stuff like the Microsoft point spoofing and automatic XEX updates. So I'd put XBLSC in second there for that reason. In third place, I'm going to put XBL Ninja or Xbox Live Stealth. I'm not sure if they've officially changed their name to XBL Ninja or they're just still called Xbox Live Stealth. But these guys are definitely the most reliable service. I have to give them that. Definitely the most reliable service. They're up on every dash. They've been around for a long time. The reason I'm not rating them higher is because their Advanced Warfare bypass is very sketchy at the moment. A lot of people come to us on AIM when inquiring about Apparition Net, and they say that and there's a lot of AIM statuses posted up about, oh, I was on XBL Ninja and I got banned within like 5 minutes. So it's really not a working bypass at the moment by the sounds of it. And they've recently changed their site to say that they now do, it's now an option, but you have to pay an extra $5 for, so it'd be $15 a day. So because they're charging extra for a bypass, I have to put them lower than XBLSC and Zone, because it is, it's extra money that you're going to have to pay if you want to add that bypass in. Plus, I still haven't heard any positive things about their bypass so far. All I've heard is negatives, that it's not working properly. So because of that, I'm rating them third place in my list. They are a reliable service. I can't fault that, but I would have rated them higher than XBLSC if their bypass was good, working, unbannable like Zone's, and it was included in their service for $10 a day rather than an optional extra that you have to pay $5 extra for on top of the price of the Stealth. So because they're charging extra and because their bypass is a bit sketchy at the moment, that's why I'm rating them third place. So fourth place, now we're getting into the lower end, kind of the bad services now. Normally I would have put XBL Atlas on here in fourth place. I can't even remember what their website is. Is it xblatlas.com? Yeah, okay, so I would have normally put these guys in fourth, but I can't be sure if there's a lot of, I don't know, or confusion about this service, and I'm confused about it as well. A lot of people seem to think that their Xbox Live Hammer, they've just come under a new name so that they can, try to pretend they're not Hammer, so they can make more money and don't have to give people their lifetime back. If that's true, then I would rate these guys fourth because they have got, apparently their Advanced Warfare bypass I've heard no longer works because it was patched during the update, but apparently it was only a half an hour to a few hour bypass, so it was only a temporary bypass anyway. And Hammer have been very dodgy lately as well. Shutting down their services, coming back, only doing rentals, not giving people their lifetime back that they've already paid for, etc. So I have to rate these guys fourth place if the rumors are true and these guys are Xbox Live Hammer, which would kind of point towards it because before the hash was publicly released and before rental servers were back up, these guys were online. So that does kind of point towards it being possible. But then I've heard the other sort of side of the argument with this service is that they are just a rented server off Xbox Live Hammer, and that seems to be what the evidence suggests at the moment, is that they're just a rental server, and rented servers in my list go at the very, very bottom. So based on that, I'm putting these guys way down at the bottom right now. But if the rumors are actually true and these guys are Xbox Live Hammer, then I would put them in fourth. but because most of the evidence seems to suggest that they're just a rented server, in which case I'm going to have to put them way down at the very bottom right now. So because of that, I'm putting Teapot Live in 4th place instead. These guys are not the best, but they say they have a free Advanced Warfare bypass. I have heard from people that they've been profile banned on it, but I haven't really heard much about console bans, but then I haven't really heard much about their bypass at all, so I don't actually know if it's a decent bypass or not. Their prices are cheap, but the reason I'm rating these guys quite low in 4th place is because it took them, well, they had to wait till the hash was publicly released before they were able to get online, and that means that they don't entirely know what they're doing. Yes, they can update normal Dash updates, but when it comes to one where the hash changes, they don't seem to know what they're doing in that case. They have to wait for the hash to get publicly released. So if that hash wasn't publicly released, or a new Dash update comes out that changes the hash and it doesn't get publicly released, then this service won't get online. Or unless the owner pays someone who does know what the hash is a large sum of money to actually get it. So because of that, I'm not rating these guys very high. The reason they are on my list though is because they have been around for quite a while now, and if you just want to buy a day or 3 days, their prices are very reasonable. So that's why they're at least on the list anyway. And then below Teapot Live, I'm going to have to put new services. I'm just classing them as new services. I'm not naming them by name because they haven't been around long enough to even be worthwhile at the moment. So any new services that have come out since the hash was publicly released on 17150, I consider to either be rented or they are just using stolen files and using the publicly released hash. We won't know if they're any good until the next Dash update comes out, or the next update that actually changes the hash is the only way we'll be able to tell if any of these new services are actually worthwhile or not. So all the new services I'm classing, I'm not naming them by name, I'm just classing them as new services. So new stealth servers are going in 5th place. And then in 6th place, I'm putting rented servers. That's the very, very bottom for me. Any rented service is just garbage, and I highly recommend that nobody buys any time from rented servers. All they're trying to do is make as much money from you as possible. They don't know any of the coding involved, or any of the code involved, or have access to any of the code for stealth services. All they're doing is just renting a server from somebody who does have the codes, files and stuff. So really, you can't trust a rented service at all. Never buy lifetime from a rented service. I wouldn't even trust them buying a day off a rented service. So rented servers are definitely the very bottom of my list. So that's why XBL Zone I'm putting at the top, because the prices are cheap. Their Advanced Warfare bypass is unbannable. They were up a day after Stealth, after the update came out. And yeah, they've got the Microsoft point spoofing, the auto XEX updating. So that is why I'm putting them there. 2nd place XBLSE because it's free. They were quite quick to get up on the next dash, on the 17150 dash, and if you bought an Advanced Warfare bypass separately, it would probably come to around the same price as Zone anyway. Xbox Live Stealth in 3rd place because their bypass isn't very reliable at the moment, and they're charging extra for it. It's not included in their $10 a day service, so you have to pay an extra $5 if you want the bypass included. So that's why they're 3rd. Teapot 4th because they're cheap, but it's not an entirely reliable service due to the fact they weren't able to get updated until the hash was publicly released. New services in 5th because they are not to really be trusted yet until at least one Dash update comes out, and we'll see if they can get online. And some of these new services could be rented from other services as well, so it's hard to tell which ones are actually legit and which ones are just rented services. And then of course rented services themselves come down at the very bottom in 6 because they're just garbage. You should never buy time on rented services. And that's it. So that's my list. That's the reason why I have listed them in this way. those are my opinions on which services are the best, which ones are the worst. And yeah, so if you liked the video, go ahead and leave a like rating, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, comment if you have any questions or any opinions you want to share. That's cool, and I'll see you guys next time.